Yeah, what you're overcoming is the identity. When you uh, when we speak of the I that arises in and out of consciousness, but it is consciousness that remains. We see the I is impermanent, but the I, in the Western sense, is identity. And to overcome that identity, one must remain simply aware or remaining as the witness to the pattern of identity, because that's what identity is. It's a pattern, just as the ego is a pattern or the I is the pattern. It's all the same. But remaining as awareness, because what can get in the way is developing a different identity, a spiritual identity, to overcome the old identity. So this is where one is trying to escape themselves. This is where one is trying to avoid, and also avoid themselves. It's the same thing. But getting to that place where one is just awareness, one can distinguish the awareness from the thought pattern or emotional pattern of identity. You know, the way you respond to things, that's where you see your thought pattern of identity or the I. It's the way you respond to people, places, things. However you respond, whatever the narrative is the pattern of identity. And if you can distinguish yourself as awareness from that appearance, because that's what identity is, it's just appearance, it's where you merge with appearance and develop a personal attachment to it. And to some extent, all of that is necessary because you need a pattern of self-reliance or an ability of self-reliance. You know, there are times you need to do things for yourself, and in that there's a learning, there's an ongoing learning how one develops self-reliance. You know, because you can't hang out in pure awareness and expect things to get done. You need self-reliance, but self-reliance becomes no longer identity; it just becomes what's happening. That's the difference. When you learn to distinguish awareness from appearance, you can see your attachment to appearance as a means of identity, what we call I, you know. But remaining as awareness, you can see that pattern, but instead of believing that that pattern is the experience of you or the central position of your identity, you can see instead that awareness is prior the condition of that arising or that activity. So what is just happening isn't you, but at the root is what you are as awareness. One begins to overcome the pattern of identity. It doesn't mean that self-reliance falls away. It just means that self-reliance doesn't define you. It's just happening. That's the interesting thing.